Closed captioning is brought to you by Bodog. Be a player.
You're not misusing the term world-class destination when you're talking about the Balsams Grand Resort in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. What a beautiful place to go for a family vacation. It's just 1/2 hour south of the Quebec border in northern New Hampshire. The White Mountains, spectacular, so many things to do. We're going to wrap things up with the relay race.
That's right, and obviously Jerry Gingras, you see here, he's actually organized this event. A little bit heavy on the saw events in the relay race here. We're starting with the stock saw, moving into the single buck, then the bow saw, and finishing off with the underhand chop.
We're going to be showing you 3 heats of 2 teams. Each team has 4 competitors on it. This first heat, Keach Engasser, Matt Slingerland, and Nathan Waterfield taking on Paul Woodland, Mike Slingerland, the father of Matt Slingerland, Jerry Gingras, and Mike Esch. Going to be a great race here.
That's right. Hard to pick this one here because they're all good competitors. We're starting now here in the stock saw. Paul Woodland, he's got to be a favorite in this, but just a little bit ahead of the team at the present time.
Paul Woodland taking on Tim Keach right there, and it's the Slingerlands, father versus son, and Matt Slingerland making a few rookie mistakes right here. The old man, Mike Slingerland, is on a single buck at the same time.
Oh, he's bowing that saw terribly. What you don't want to see when you're doing a single buck, you hang up a raker, gets a big bow in the blade for you. Jerry Gingras flying through the buck saw event.
And there is this race is going to go down to that single buck, father teaching son, that's for sure. Mike Esch is ready to pound things off in the underhand chop. And the other team there, Engasser's team, still on the bow saws. Mike Esch makes his turn over to the backside.
Trying to catch up as fast as they can here in the underhand chop. Mike Esch is just way ahead here on the second side, putting his final drivers in. They're going to be down a little bit ahead of this other team.
Nathan Waterfield's not going to catch Mike Esch right now. Team number 1 comes in with a time of 50.32 seconds. What a great job here, starting with Paul Woodland, the master stock saw guy. He doesn't miss many stock saws, that's for sure. But this is where the difference was right here. Mike Slingerland schooling his son, Matt.
That's right. Came right down. Poor Matt hung up a raker probably 4 times in that, almost bowed the saw in half. And then, of course, they go right into their final event here with Mike Esch. Great chopper. They take first place so far.
Well, heat number 2 with a time of 50.32 seconds. Time to beat is going to be really tough, but we got Ed Crisnall, Ben Notterman, Vince Messiel, and Herb Gingras. They're going to have their hands full with Team Mercier, that's for sure.
Oh, you bet. If you were going to pick a team in this here, the Bertrand brothers, J.P. Mercier, and Arden COGAR Jr. You've got 3 phenomenal sawyers. The best underhand cutter here, all on one team. These guys have got to be the favorite in this event.
Well, it's more of a fun event. There is some cash on the line here for these guys. There's a whole lot of pride, of course, as well. They make their own teams, but the fact of the matter is, the cash doesn't really make a difference. These guys want to win because they're competitors.
That's right, and plus the points. I think the points go also for the overall. So, again, you want to get a few extra points to put you on top of the other guys here in the
Look at that thin disc there by Ed Crisnall, and he cut out on the first disc. That's going to give them a DQ or a penalty. I think it's a 10-second penalty, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be sawing against the Bertrand brothers, that's for sure, and I'm sure that's playing in his mind, just starting out with this, but look at these guys go.
J.P. Mercier in the single buck saw. Oh, and he hangs up right there. Could it give Ben Notterman a chance to catch up, possibly? So Simon Bertrand on the bow saw. Ben Notterman's still struggling, though.
Something you seldom see J.P. do, hang a raker in the single buck. But, of course, it was only a second or 2. They're jumping right back in. Now Arden COGAR Jr. starting in the underhand. He's already around to his second side.
Well, right now they're trying to beat the time to beat a 50.32 set in the first heat. I think they're going to do that. They're going to set that time to beat lower with 1 heat to go. And there it is, Team Mercier lowering the time to beat down to 45 seconds. Look at there, Simone Bertrand gets them, Sebastian Bertrand getting them started with 2 flawless cuts. But when you got one of the best single buckers in the world and a couple of French Canadians in your team, how can you go wrong?
That's right, all kinds of room to play there, of course, a couple little baubles.
These guys were in cruise control at this point. They handed off to the best chopper here of the day at the Balsams Grand Resort. The best chopper of the day being Arden COGAR Jr. as we head into the last heat now with the time to beat at 45 seconds. This is not too bad a team right now. We got a couple of Lamberts. Michael Lambert with his father Donald taking on with Gaston and Billy Cornelius on their team. I mean, you got a couple of French Canadians with Melvin Lenz now.
Yeah, they're taking actually the young guns here. Patrick McDougall, Jonathan Blais, Hugh Fillion, and Melvin Lenz. So again, not a bad team to pick either. 3 guys from Quebec that can all saw, and then you throw Mel Lenz on top of a log. Look out for going.
Well, for sure they set up these heats with the relays, knowing that there was going to be some strong Quebec sawyers here. So they got 3 sawing events. Gingras is a strong sawer. I think there's something by design here, that's for sure.
That's right, Patrick. Now Patrick hasn't done a whole lot of lumberjack sports, but pretty quick to the wood with his Echo's chainsaw.
He was standing up straight though. It's a long way to go down and pick up that saw. And Billy Cornelius looks like he's struggling in a stock saw as well. Heading off into the single buck, we got Jonathan Blais taking on Big Gaston.
Jonathan Blais was a champion in the intercollegiate leagues and single buck, so here he is pulling a decent blade. Probably a little bit frustrated that he hung a raker there, but still keeping a good pace. He's going to be the first one through here. He's actually bested by Gaston.
They're neck and neck right now. We got Fillon taking on Michael Lambert, Donald's son, and Donald hands over, and Michael hands over to Donald in the chop, and it's over to Mel Lenz in the chop. It's going to be a close one.
Mel Lentz and Donald Lambert. I've chopped against Melvin before. That's not where you want to be on top of a log, is against Melvin Lentz, and I'm sure that's what Donald Lambert's thinking now. Melvin Lentz into the smaller wood. He's going to be driving.
Well, they're fighting for second and third place right now. They're not going to take down the 50 seconds by Team GINGRAS earlier. And Melvin Lenz's team wins, and that's going to put them in third place in the relay event. Some valuable points there.
Hey, how about that? The young gun shaking hands with Melvin Lentz. I bet they're just really impressed to be even competing with a guy here today. I know that Melvin Lentz has held a pretty dear spot in my heart for a long time. I always looked up to him being a world-class competitor. Here the young guys are doing all their sawing events. Actually did a pretty darn good job leading into his chop. And, of course, Melvin Lentz bringing it home, doing what he does best.
Well, when you have 6 teams of 4, 24 competitors in all, with each event being 4 different disciplines, you're going to have a whole bunch of world-class chaos. COGAR, the Bertrand brothers, led by J.P. Mercier, win the relay race.
And our crown pivotal point today is focused on Gaston Duperret. He was at the top of the leaderboard through this competition, led the way with a first place finish in the hot saw event, took $1,000 home in his pocket with the first place finish in the bow saw. But here in the modified saw, things took a turn for the worst. 6.02 time in this, and of course, didn't get valuable points.
And that, of course, opened the door for guys like GINGRAS and COGAR to take the lead in a dogfight for first place. COGAR, our chopping champion, and Jerry GINGRAS winning the overall Lumberjack of the day with 475 points. Here we go. This might be a little bit of a first. Guy putting on a show, also winning the overall. I mean, how do you do that sort of thing?
Well, I'm still trying to figure that out. You know, my main focus today was to make sure the show ran, kept things going, you know, and it was great that they were calling when you were on deck, because I had no clue what event we were in when I was up, and I just kind of listened for my name throughout the day. You know, and typically during the contest, a regular contest that I'm not running, I kind of keep track in my head of points and that sort of thing. It was a big surprise to me today. I had no idea at all. You know, I knew I did good in a couple events, but had no idea at all in the end what the result was going to be.
What a great competition put on by the Grand Balsams Resort here in northern New Hampshire. What about Jerry GINGRAS? He puts on the show, and a great job on the field as well.
Unbelievable. Great performances in the Jack and Jill saw. Took first place with his wife, and also first place in the OP.
Great presence by Gaston Duperret, our Canadian. What about that sawing?
Oh, going home $1,000 richer. Took first place in the hot saw as well.
And Jamie COGAR in the chopping. He came here to chop, won both chops.
Drove a long ways. He came here to chop, and you're right, dominated the springboard chop and also the underhand.
Come back again next week. We'll be in Wares Valley, Tennessee for more Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, professional quality, ask any pro. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Bodog, be a player. Red Pine Wilderness Lodge, simply unreal fishing.